The Vrek Dominion called it a lesson in order. To the humans of New Carthage, it was the end of everything, orbiting the edge of the Perseus Arm. New Carthage had been a beacon of quiet progress. 15,000 settlers, farms beneath twin suns, and laughter that carried across red plains. It had no military presence beyond a few patrol craft, no weaponry beyond mining lasers. To the Vrek, it was the perfect target, a chance to remind the young species of its place. When the first Vrek destroyer appeared in orbit, its commander, Archdominion Kareth Vel, gave no warning. His orders were simple: burn the settlement, capture specimens, and broadcast it across the galactic net as proof of Vrek superiority. Humans multiply like pests, Kareth hissed over open comms, his mandibles clicking in amusement. We shall cull them, and let them beg their earth gods for mercy. The sky above New Carthage ignited. Plasma bombardments tore through atmosphere and soil. Cities melted. Oceans boiled. Children were vaporized before they could even scream. The colony's last transmission, a desperate crackling message, reached the Solnet relay before the storm consumed it. They're burning us. Vrek ships. No warning. This is New Carthage. Please, tell Earth. Tell them we tried. Then static. Then silence. The Vrek ships hovered above the smoldering ruins, broadcasting the footage across their empire. Their admirals praised Kareth's decisive action. Their news feeds called it justice for galactic order. To the Vrek, it was a demonstration. To humanity, it was provocation beyond forgiveness. The laughter of the conquerors the Dominion celebrated for 12 days. In the capital spire of Vrek Prime, Kareth Vel received a triumphal parade, a march beneath banners woven from the silks of a dozen conquered species. Broadcast drones captured his every sneer, his every boast. Behind him, screens replayed the burning of New Carthage, slowed to show every explosion in poetic detail. Observe, he declared to the assembly of nobles. This is how weakness is purged. The humans will howl and protest, but they will not fight. They cannot fight. They are a soft world, bound by empathy. Their fleets are few. Their politics divided. They are children playing with starfire. The crowd roared approval, their chittering laughter echoing through the grand hall. Reports from the frontier confirmed it. No human ships had moved. Earth's channels were quiet. The Sol Council issued a single message of condemnation to the galactic conquered, then went silent. The Vrek interpreters took this as proof. The humans feared them. They believed the Terrans had accepted their place. And so, the Dominion returned to its expansion. Its fleets moving, its arrogance swelling. Kareth Vel was promoted to Sector Marshal, granted command of the Western Arm. When asked if he feared retaliation, he simply clicked his mandibles and said, "You cannot rouse beasts that have no fangs." The stillness before the storm. For 3 months, the galaxy waited for humanity's reply. None came, no human fleets moved, no ambassadors spoke, no transmissions escaped Sol. The silence was absolute, so much so that it became unnerving. A few alien observers noticed subtle changes. The Terran trade routes went dark. The civilian colonies pulled ships inward. Even the bustling colonies of Alpha Centauri ceased broadcasting entertainment signals. The humans were withdrawing, and somewhere in that stillness, something vast was taking shape. When the Dominion Intelligence Directorate intercepted fragments of encrypted human transmissions, they dismissed them as fear-driven bureaucracy. Yet within those signals were words that would later freeze the blood of every Vrek officer who read them. Operation Nemesis, authorized by Solar Command. Priority Omega, no quarter. The Terran Defense Fleet, a coalition long thought defensive and outdated, began to move. Shipyards on Luna, Titan, and Epsilon Eridani lit up the void. Construction yards ran without rest. Black hulls emerged from dry dock, angular, silent, and monstrous in scale. Dreadnoughts the size of continents, their names etched in cold defiance: Retribution, Ashfall, Vigil of Sol, New Carthage's memory. Every human officer knew what they were building toward. There would be no diplomatic overtures, no warnings. There would only be response. The first echoes of Retribution. The Vrek first noticed something wrong when their outpost at Dethra 9 went silent. It had been a fortress world, heavily armed, with orbital cannons and planetary shields. Its garrison numbered 30,000 troops. Its defense grid could repel entire pirate fleets. Yet one morning, the system's relay beacon flickered out. Scouts were sent. None returned. Then, a week later, a transmission reached Vrek Command. A fragment of recovered data, heavily distorted by radiation. The recording showed a black shape descending through the clouds. No engine signature matched it. It moved like a shadow, silent, deliberate. The defense cannons opened fire, plasma streaks lancing the sky. None struck true. The black shape answered with light, a single beam that carved through the fortress shield and cut the surface in half. Then came the human transmission, broadcast across open channels to every Dominion frequency for New Carthage. And then, static again. 3 more Vrake stations went dark within the next lunar cycle. Each time, the same message followed. Each time, the same quiet fury. The awakening of Earth when the first confirmed human fleet emerged at the border of Vrake space. The Dominion laughed. At first, it was small by galactic standards. 50 ships. Heavy cruisers, frigates, carriers. The Vrake deployed an armada 10 times the size to intercept. They expected a slaughter. Human wreckage drifting through the void. What they found instead was something no one in the galaxy had seen before. Human ships didn't roar into battle. They arrived in perfect silence. No broadcast, no declaration. Just a black wall of steel advancing through the stars. Then the transmission came. Monotone, unfeeling, mechanical. This is Terran command. You have trespassed upon human life. Your existence is forfeit. No negotiation, no surrender. Only consequence. The Vrake fleet opened fire first. The humans didn't evade. They absorbed it, shields glowing, hulls unyielding. Then, they answered. Kinetic lances, railguns, and gravitational imploders tore through Vrake lines like paper. One shot, one ship. Clean, efficient, unstoppable. In less than 20 minutes, the Vrake armada ceased to exist. The survivors drifted in silence, their comms filled with screams and confusion. Across the galaxy, sensors recorded what became known as the Soul Offensive, and the stars burned anew. The Empire trembles. The Dominion panicked. They deployed entire sector fleets, thousands of warships, fortified citadels, entire planetary defense rings. But the humans didn't come as an army. They came as judgment. Every attack was precise, methodical, and unrelenting. Every target connected to the destruction of New Carthage. Every Vrake commander, officer, and ship involved in that massacre, gone, one by one. Sectors fell silent. Human fleets moved like ghosts, leaving only ash and radiation behind. No prisoners, no wreckage, no mercy. The Vrake tried to sue for peace. They sent envoys, pleas, surrender codes. All returned unanswered. One diplomatic vessel managed to approach a human dreadnought. Its message: we yield. Spare our worlds. The reply was a single word: no. Then the dreadnought's cannons opened fire. Even the galactic Concord, long neutral, began to fear. They watched the Terrans reshape the balance of power. Their fleets blackening entire systems, their precision bordering on divine wrath. What terrified them most wasn't the destruction itself, but the discipline behind it. This was not rage. This was justice. Cold, absolute, mathematical. The fall of the Dominion. When the humans reached Vrake Prime, there was no battle. The Dominion's last fleet gathered around their homeworld, 20,000 ships in formation. Every weapon charged, every fighter launched. The sky burned with the light of defiance. The humans arrived in silence. 100 dreadnoughts, their hulls absorbing the light of the local star. They didn't even power weapons immediately. They simply watched. Then came the message, relayed across every channel, every screen, every city of the Dominion. You burned our children and called it order. You slaughtered our innocence and called it balance. You mocked our restraint and called it weakness. This is Earth's answer. Bombardment lasted 6 hours. Vrake Prime's atmosphere turned to flame. Its oceans vaporized. Its cities crumbled into glass. The screams of billions echoed through the void. When the fires dimmed, nothing living remained. Only silence and drifting dust. The Dominion was gone. An empire that had spanned centuries, erased in a single campaign. The cost of mercy. A century after the fall, an alien historian, one of the last of the Ashar, was permitted to visit Earth. He expected a planet of conquerors, warlords, and cold machines. Instead, he found gardens, he found oceans, forests, and cities alive with music. He saw children laughing beneath the same blue sky that had birthed the vengeance which broke his people. And in that beauty, he saw the truth, the terrible duality of humankind. The same species that could annihilate empires also built worlds of light. The same hearts that could summon infinite wrath could hold infinite kindness. When he asked a human elder about Cindervale, She only said this: "We don't seek revenge. We seek balance, but if someone takes the light from us, we show them the darkness they've earned." He returned to his people and never spoke of it again. The legacy of Cindervale. In the centuries that followed, humanity expanded quietly. They took no new slaves, claimed no thrones. They did not boast of their conquest. The Terran Directorate disbanded the Retaliation Armada and sealed its records. The galaxy would never know how many ships had been built, or where they rested. But every now and then, a drifting vessel or pirate broadcast would report something impossible. Stars that vanished overnight, systems gone silent, fleets erased without a trace. When investigators searched, they found nothing, only emptiness, only silence, and sometimes a whisper, faint and cold, buried deep in the static of the void. Cindervale remembers. Epilogue. The species that rises there are species who conquer through fear. There are species who survive through cunning, and then there are humans. They endure, they adapt, they remember. The Ashar learned too late that humanity's true weapon was not their technology, nor their armies. It was their unity, their will to rise when all others would fall. When one human falls, the rest do not flee, they rise together, and the stars themselves tremble at their ascent. So now, when a diplomat or warlord speaks too loudly of conquest, when a fleet commander grows arrogant, when a tyrant dreams of power, someone always asks, "Do you remember Cindervale?" And in that instant, the fire fades from their eyes. Because they all know what the Eshar learned, and what the galaxy will never forget. The aliens saw one human fall, and watched a species rise.